Always wanted to be a pro wrestler? Are you already a wrestler and looking to improve? Don't know where to start? Or just want to refine your skills? Well, don't wait. Only you keep you from being better. Want to be the best? Then learn from the best. Fort Knox's training school will help you develop the skills needed to not only become better, but become a legit contender anywhere you go. So don't delay. Find us on Facebook or call 717-379-4599 to schedule a tryout now. That's 717-379-4599.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 3 Beards of Wrestling podcast. It is I, myself, and my lovely host, Mr. I Like to Bake Cookies Naked. We're beard down. We are beard down. But don't worry. The other beard, the main beard, the beard that everybody loves, will be back next week. Shout out to Shane. Shane, hope you're watching, buddy. Hope everything's okay. Hope you're doing good. So. Mr.
I feel like it's been forever. Like, I know it was like 2 weeks. We had some issues 2 weeks ago, like that too. But like, for me, it feels like it's been like a month, man. Like, what? It feels like forever. We have so much to talk about.
Too long.
We had Rumble lead up to Mania. We've got oatmeal cookies in the oven. No, other stuff.
Oh, you said cookies. Well, I got my diabetes got happy. Go ahead.
A lot of good stuff in that too. But more importantly, we got some cool stuff going on today.
We do. We have some really cool and interesting things going on. We'll get to that in just a second. It's so good to be back. It is so good to be back. It fills my heart, makes my nipples hard. It is a lovely, lovely feeling to be back with all our lovely little beards out here watching. So yay. Yeah, what? Huh?
I would say my wife's just tired of talking to me on Mondays, so she's like, please go talk to somebody else. Please.
Just really? Yeah.
Okay. So they'll talk to Adrian then.
There you go. Just talk to me. Then we'll be back. Anything fun and interesting happening this weekend? Anything?
I mean, we've got a lot to talk with the Rumble, man. We've got that's. I mean, I know you're sad. Your girl Emma didn't make a return.
I'm
equally as sad. AJ Lee didn't make a return, so we're just as upset. It's fine.
But Mr. Jordan Grace was in the women's Rumble. He was pretty strong. I mean, she was pretty strong when she came out.
Listen, you know what though is that like with her and I was surprised. I was waiting for John Gresham. I really was. And then when he didn't, I was like, I feel like that was a missed opportunity. But
it was, and she did fantastic. I hopefully like they continue doing more stuff like that with the partnership with the different company because it's Jordan Grace. She's knockout champion. Everybody knows who Jordan Grace is. She's a beast. She may be 5'1", but she is a monster.
She's
there's a reason why you have to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
Absolutely reason. But you know what? It's enough of us talking. I think we got somebody special here with us tonight, don't we? Ooh. You know what? Thank God we have this amazing video package we're going to show.
We got a video.
Let's get the fans excited. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the one and only Mr. Crass Van Tassel. Bud, welcome in. Thank you for joining the Beards.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Enjoying retirement, sitting here in my son's room because it's the quietest room in the house, hence Batman.
Yeah, I appreciate Batman in the background. So
Batman.
Can you tell us if you're Batman? If you are Batman, you can tell us, right?
All I can say is you've never seen Cross Van Tassel and Batman in the same room at the same time.
True story. You know what though? I think I would recognize it though if he was Batman because the soul patch would have been there like that. He didn't hide it, so that would have been there. So
he can save it.
So seeing that little video package, how does that take you back really quick into like when I was watching those pictures, seeing those pictures, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I was at that match. Yeah, I was pretty sure I was at that show.
So let's go back first and foremost to the picture of me and Dylan Freimeyer. I think I actually had abs in that picture, which they have been gone for a long time.
They're not gone, just hidden well.
Oh no, they're gone. They're gone. Dad bod is full kicked in. No, man, holy crap, I forgot some of those pictures.
What's going on there?
Absolutely forgot some of those.
Yeah, that kick looked like it was nasty. I saw his whole facial structure rearranged from the impact that was getting ready to happen. Like his soul, like if you look closely in that picture, you can see his soul on the outside of his body going.
Tony Devins never spoke the same ever since that super kick to the face, you know.
Especially Ivy Green.
Oh.
Ivy Green and we wrestled in Williamsport, and he didn't turn his head, and I ended up putting his teeth through his lip on a super kick.
Oh, so you just gave him the whole Mick Foley treatment, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah,
that's just the whole like lip through the teeth. Like he had to chew funny after that. Is that what you're saying? Because like,
yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
And that was just the opening spot.
You know what? Sometimes you gotta start strong.
You gotta start it hot, right?
You know, I mean, the thing is too is that like looking at it, like those are like when I picture Crass Van Tassel, it's the black cutoff shirt and the bright red pants. They were the brightest red pants that anybody could ever see. So I every time I see that, I'm like, oh, that's who that is. That is who that is.
Yeah, that was I think for like a 6-month span, I tried to switch it and did like a red shirt with black pants. And I'm like, man, this looks stupid. Same color scheme, just different top and bottom. And I was like, no, I can't do this. So I went back to the black cutoff and the red pants, and that's what it had been the whole career.
But I mean, it's crazy when you just that little color scheme flip or whatever too, and you're like, no, not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But it sets you apart because like nobody else was running around that time with those bright rocket red pants kind of thing. So
right.
It was something to set you apart from as well.
They were very shiny and beautiful.
They were super shiny.
So where did the road start? Where did the Crass Van Tassel start?
Holy crap. So it actually started down in Georgia. Had done some training down there. Had done one of the first ever TNA gut check challenges down there. I got to work with some incredible people, and then immediately moved up to Pennsylvania, and got hooked up with Chio Valentine, who then took me to Mark and Troy Mess Dungeon.
Ooh, shout out to the dungeon.
Where they fine-tuned the training that I had,
Mm-hmm.
and the psychology, and they started taking me on the road with them. And then it was just, let's giddy up and go. You know,
Okay.
after I had my first couple matches and made my first couple, networks, it was let's giddy up and go, and let's see how far we can go.
So when you said you had that gut check challenge and that too, like how was that like, especially early on into?
So that was the most brutal, painful thing I had ever gone through. 1,500 push-ups, 1,500 crunches, 1,500 squats, just before you got in the ring to run ropes.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
They're like, we're gonna need you to run ropes.
Right.
Yeah. And then it was you were running crosses for about 5 minutes straight because they had 4 or 5 rings set up.
Jeez.
And it was just crosses. Yeah. By the time it was done, I threw up everything I had to eat for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you do all that running afterwards or whatever too, like they're like it's 5 minutes. You're like, okay, 5 minutes ain't too bad. They're the longest. That was a half an hour. It was like an NFL. It was like an NFL 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was the last 5 minutes of the game in the NFL.
Yeah.
Where it's a close game.
My God. That gives me flashback to Germans from tryout. All right, keep running. Get up, just keep running.
Yeah, it was.
Do I run through the throw up, or do I have to
swallow it and keep going?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeez. Okay.
But I mean,
after that, after you had that little stint there, it could have been just like, all right, I don't want to do this. You're like, you know what? I'm a crazy son of a bitch. I'm going to keep doing this.
Absolutely. And then, so I'll be honest, I wasn't going to continue with it. It wasn't till I met Chio, because there was a good probably 6-7 months between that gut check challenge and meeting Chio. And I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, if professional wrestling is like that gut check challenge, no, I'm good. Like, I don't ever have to do this ever again. And then a couple friends of mine were like, hey, we're going to go check out this little indie show. I believe it's WPW. Is that Pinky Pinkerton?
Yeah.
Way back in the day. So we went and checked that out, and that's where I met Chio. And then Chio took me to Mark and Troy, and Mark and Troy really lit the spark. That I was like, yeah, I can do this. I do want to do this. And the love for wrestling was back like that.
They'll do it. They will do that. Again, shout out to the dungeon. They will definitely do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely fell into a good hands in that too. If you were gonna fall into anybody's hands, it's Mark, when we had him on our podcast before, and that too is just very much about like, hey, if you want it, I'll show you how to do it. I'll teach you, I'll train you, I'll learn you something kind of thing. So we got some fans asking, would you come back? Would you ever make a return?
So it's done. No. It's done because he had a follow-up question to that. Because if you don't say you're coming back, did
you sell your gear?
Yeah,
I did not.
Oh, okay.
So he's coming back.
No, so hold on. So for my wedding anniversary, my wife actually did a shadow box that has my pants and my boots and one of my black cutoff shirts in it. So,
that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's love. That's love. That is love.
The only way I'm coming back is break glass in case of an emergency. So
Yeah, you hear this? She just hears glass shattering. She's like, "No, no, 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 no!"
She's
Babe, hear
tackling
me out.
him.
One time, the guys asked me.
It's a
Just
ladder
one
match,
time.
babe. It's a ladder
Yeah.
match. A couple of
Oh.
thumbtacks. Nothing
There's
to
only
worry
2
about.
climbing tables. It's
Nothing to
fine.
worry about. It's
Oh,
okay.
God.
It's okay.
As
I
long
just
as you
wanna
know.
be
Oh,
Batman.
what was the name of that match? What was the name of the match in Valor? That he did once a year. Something Mayhem.
It's about what it was.
I wrestled Prodigy in it.
Mm.
Wow. Okay, that's a good one.
Oh God, I can't think of it. But if you would be like, hey, Van Tassel, we need you to wrestle in this match again. No, I'm good. Just my knees are finally back to like 85%. The back's
okay.
finally like 90%. Yeah, no, I'm good.
So you just rubbing it in. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. It's called the I'm gonna hurt match, is what it's called. Like this
Yeah.
is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
We only have to ask because when we've asked people before and they're like no, and then like 2 weeks later you got Hayne in a wrestling ring doing
Yeah,
something.
we're not talking about that. We're not talking because he lied to
Yeah,
me. He looked
we
me
called
straight
it.
in
We
my
called it.
eyes.
He's like, no, I'm done. And we were like, do you still have your stuff? He's like, yeah. But I'm
How
done.
long had he been done?
Years.
What's that?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Years.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
stop
I was
wrestling.
gonna say because I'm approaching 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was at least a couple because when he ran Stellar, which is coming back this year, and that too. So at least
Shout out to
Stellar, I
Stellar.
know, was at least before COVID. So probably about 4 years, probably. If I had to
Yeah,
guess.
Okay.
yeah. And then next thing you know, he shows up at the show. Wrestling.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, Stellar's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
I'm
have to
not
worry about
salty.
that with me.
I'm not
I'm not
talking
gonna-
about
We're gonna see him on a poster next week.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. He's gonna be at it. It's like,
Son of a
son of a bitch. She
Yeah.
lied to us.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yep. So
Adrian, what's really going to get you is in a couple weeks when the poster says General Kiesel versus Cross Fantastic.
I'm gonna throw my shit. I'm gonna throw my shit.
I'll do it. I never got the opportunity. I never got the chance.
Let me
Just
tell you
saying.
Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you. If that happens, I quit. I absolutely quit. Because it's got to be me. It's got to be me, Jesus. It's got to be me because everybody we've had this conversation with, nah, I'm done. And then next thing I will quit.
It's the itch, man. I tell you, it gets the best of you. Like, especially when people are like, I'm just going to go watch the show. I tried that. It did not work. It did not. I go and I'm like, I'm just gonna watch. I'm like, but what if?
So shortly after I stopped in ring wrestling, I was helping out True Wrestling up here in Berwick, Pennsylvania, backstage helping them, and I never got the itch. I never got it. I was very happy to be in that educator role, backstage creative role, and then. Unfortunately, they went. I don't know if they went under or if they just stopped. Sean kind of went into a different direction. He's now doing like sports media casting for NASCAR, I think. So, the only time I got the itch was last year's WrestleMania, watching Cody and Roman, and I was like. And my wife looked at me and she goes, I'll put my ring on the table and walk out the door if you even think about it.
Wow.
Got it.
He just hangs the shadow box back up. He's like,
Yeah.
just want to look at it.
I was just cleaning the dust off of it, babe. That's all I was doing.
No, and it's funny you mentioned that because I was like, when was the last time I saw you behind the scenes at a show? It was at True. I forgot that I made one time that I went up there. A couple guys and I from SWO made it up to True that one time, and this was oh my gosh, that was a couple years ago, and that too. So we went up, hung out for a show and stuff like that too.
That's right. I do remember that.
Otherwise, I've seen you. It was at ACW, at Tate's. It was at Valor. It was. I mean, even when we saw that video package and seeing that blue ring from Valor and that too, holy flashback there because I immediately went back to that. And then when they used to run Valor at, I forget the gymnasium name or whatever too, and I was like, how are they going to put a wrestling ring on a gym bouncy floor? It worked, but it seemed hella dangerous.
Yeah.
So the common denominator is Keezer. I'm starting to figure it out now. He talks people into coming back. He's the common denominator. I got you. I got you.
I'm not coming back.
He does it to me all the time.
I need a manager. It's fine. It's fine.
Don't
Just
feel
don't
bad.
tell Victor. Don't tell
man,
Victor I need a manager.
Victor, you heard him.
Don't you talk to Victor.
You heard him, Victor. You heard him.
So what is if you what's a top match for you for in your career that you would either love to two-part that you would love to run back and do again, and what's your other one that you're like, oh man, this was the drizzling shits, I never want to, like, can that be expunged from YouTube or
my god.
And you said brain for this one. Look, yeah.
So there's two that I if I was going to get back in the ring and had the ability to run back. Unfortunately, the one will never happen, and that would be against Prodigy, PTV. That man looked vicious, talked vicious, but was the most gentlest teddy bear in that ring. I always felt safe with him, even though we did some of the stupidest things you can do in a ring and to each other's body. I never felt that I was in danger. The other one would be Ed House. Man, Ed and I had waged some wars over the years.
Oh my gosh,
he's so fun.
I would absolutely run one back with him.
He's so fun to work with. So fun to work with.
Absolutely. And one of the things I love about wrestling Ed is we would never talk anything. We would just go to the promoter and go, hey, how long we got? And then our talking in the ring was an actual conversation about each other's kids, our girlfriends or wives at the time. Like, we never said what move was coming next. We just knew each other that well that just movements, we knew what was coming. As far as, oh God, that was the drizzling shit. We are going way back to probably 2005, 2006. I made a little stop at EGW in Tamaqua. Back then, they also ran Summit Hill and like 3 or 4 other little towns. And there was a guy named Spoons that wrestled.
Hold up. His name is what?
Spoons. Spoons.
We talk about like slapping on your knees, like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Oh, I was looking for you. Okay. Spoons.
No matter what move I did to him, he would no sell and pop right back up.
Oh, Spoons
hit him with a clothesline. No sell, pop right back up. 10 minutes of offense on this kid. No sell, pop right back up.
Oh my god! You're like,
I looked him dead in the face, and I said, "I'm gonna let you know this right now. I'm about to hit you with the super kick, and I promise you, you are not going to no sell it, and you will stay down for 3." And I don't think I've ever purposefully kicked somebody so hard. I knocked him out cold.
Oh, geez. He's like, you said for 3 seconds. You didn't say for 3 months.
He's just not waking up. That's just it. Yeah. We got to report he's just not waking up. That,
I got to the back, and the promoter was like, what the hell was that? I said, I don't know, but he should never be in a ring again. Ever.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, we always talk about it all the time, like just going through and the people that you get in the ring with and stuff like that too. Like, hey, I've shared the ring with Adrian so many times, and I was like, I never had to worry like he was going to get me home safe to my kids. I was going to get him safe to his kids and that too. We never had that, but we've run into that too, where it's like, dude, you got to listen or you're going to get hurt. You know, I remember wrestling growing up with my younger brothers, and you'd pick them up for a move and they'd be wiggling and that too. I'm like, dude, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. It's actually going to be better if you just let me do this. It'd be cool as shit. Mom would be pissed. But it's, some of those things those are crazy to run back into and everything. So,
yeah. It's good when you got chemistry with somebody like that, because you're referring to the Ed House conversations. Like Brad said, like there's a list full of, there's a short list of guys that I know we get in the ring. Because when me and Brian, we'll just honestly, we shoot the shit half the time when we're preparing for a match. Like, all right, well, you guys got 5 minutes. Hey man, what are we doing after this? I don't know. It just crazy stuff. Oh, hey, how you think you want to finish this? Yeah. We'll see when we get out there. It's just that level of chemistry. To me, it makes it so much easier to work with somebody. It makes the matches look better because you're comfortable with somebody, and you know they're going to take care of you. You know,
Right.
and they know you're going to take care of them. So yeah.
Yep.
Did you ever have somebody that you went through and you were like going to call a match with and stuff like that too, and they were like, you're like, you know, do you know how to take this move? Do you know how to? Yeah. No, I'm good. And then they got out there and they had no idea what it meant.
Yes.
Something as simple as a suplex. I said to him, I was like, I'm going to do a stalling suplex, hold you up for a good 5 count, and then we're going to drop. And got him up there, got to the 5 count, started going back, and he bent his knees as he's coming down. And ended up like completely messing up both of his knees on the landing.
Oh, no.
I looked at the ref and I was like, count me out because he can't move.
And then you feel bad like giving him that move, even though you weren't the one who did that part of it. You still feel like,
probably.
Shit, like
how could I have done that differently? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, I rolled out of the ring, and fortunately enough, I was the heel, so I just rolled out of the ring and started talking trash to the crowd.
Yeah, you roll out, you're like, is he dead? No.
Is he moving? Is he?
Yeah.
No.
Still bleeding? Yeah, he bleeding.
Yeah, he's pretty stupid. You should probably check on him.
Yeah. There's no way the ambulance is coming out to help this kid. Please get the ambulance.
Yeah.
Please get the ambulance.
It's not here.
Has someone called 911?
I heard everything break. Help him.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
Yeah. It wasn't often. It wasn't often, but every once in a blue moon you get that. And I'm not a big fan of the term, but the way people understand it, you get that greenhorn kid that you try to keep it as basic as possible.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's part of the whole like, hey, who do you work with? Who do you train with? You know, how long you been working? You know, what do you know how to do? And I think a lot of it, from my personal experience, is ego, because nobody wants to, like, no guy wants to be like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I'm tough. I can take this. I work with a kid,
right.
like you said, something as simple as a suplex. I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit you with a spine buster. You ever taken a spine buster? Yeah. No, absolutely not. No, and it was a taping. I thought he died because he was like reaching and grabbing me like he was having a heart attack, which I know a lot about. He was like, I'm like, oh shit. So I just look up at the camera and just.
That was the sound of me taking my first choke slam. I forgot to exhale when I hit. I just laying on my back going, and they're like, you didn't breathe. I was like, no. Adrian and I have been to shows where we see guys like before the show starts or like running training in the ring like the day of the show, but it's like, here's an Irish whip. What?
Right.
Like, no, and usually it's the person who's teaching him is somebody who should not be teaching somebody how to do it either. You're like, hey, promoter, they're gonna die out there.
Yeah. You know they're going through the ropes, right? You know it's gonna happen. Front row, you might as well move that back like another 5 feet because he's falling out. Oh, you don't believe me? Watch. Told you.
So you've had matches with like Ed House. I know early on, like watching you a lot at LCW days and stuff like that too. What's the Jason Holt had the good question too, but like, what was the funniest match you ever had? You were just like, couldn't stop laughing, it was just ridiculous.
Anytime I wrestle Rob Noxious, that's me. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh boy, funniest match I've ever had. It would have been Knoxville, Tennessee, 2012. Wrestled this kid who was so proud of this new gear he just got.
It was Spoons, wasn't it?
No, Spoons never should have bought gear, and I hope he never did.
I got a
But,
book on my knee pad.
No, this kid, he's wrestling me. I said, all right, what do you want to do? Go over everything. All right. I'm going to go out. I'm playing the heel. I am going to get them so pissed off. You won't be able to do anything wrong. Everything you do will be right.
Until he came out.
Challenge
Till he
accepted.
came out. Till he came out and went to step in the ring and split his pants.
Oh shit!
Right at the seam.
Oh shit!
I'm standing there.
Oh shit!
Every time, like, I go to body slam him, my hand slides right inside his pants, and I'm like, oh god, what is going on? That is legitimately his ass. I am holding his ass. Here we go.
I touch
Slam.
crack. Yeah. Oh my god.
Crowd was laughing the whole time. Like, oh my god, I was in tears. I had to put him over, and I was like, can you please just put me in a sleeper hold, face down, so the crowd doesn't see the tears pouring out of my face from laughter. And that is how we ended up finishing it. He put me in a sleeper hold, face down, and I just passed out. Oh my god. I felt so bad for him because he was so proud of that gear. And it was the first night he was wearing that gear, and split from penis to asshole.
Yeah, I was gonna say my one that I have the hardest time wrestling against is Bliss. Bliss is so hard to do it because
my god, yes.
He'll have you in a headlock and he's just sitting there going, "Hey, Poppy, how you doing? How you?" I'm like, "Stop!" I'm like, "Knock it off." I'm supposed to be this heel, this grizzly heel, and he's just sitting there giggling in my ear and stuff like that. So he's, you got to wrestle Bliss when it was like long dreads, pink tips,
and exotic erotic, and yeah. Oh god, and like he's another one that it's hard to keep a straight face because he'll hop on your back and ride you like a pony, while smacking your ass, and you want me to keep a straight face with this?
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
Absolutely.
And then the high pitched screams.
Oh my god, yes.
It's funny, like he'll talk to my daughter who's 2 at shows, and he doesn't talk to her normally. He's like, every time he goes under, she's like, "Hi baby," and she thinks it's just the way he talks. At this point, I think.
For the longest time, my daughter did not know Bliss was Goat Boy.
She did not know.
Did not know. She loved Goat Boy, hated Bliss, did not know they were the same person.
Blew her mind like, oh shit.
So when he would call, and him and I spent a lot of time on the phone together, my daughter would be like, "Daddy, who are you talking to?" And I'm like, it's Goat Boy. And she was like, "Oh, I want to talk." And he would change the voice on a dime, have a 5-minute conversation with her.
Oh my god.
And then get back on the phone with me, and he'd be like, "You know how pissed she'd be if I'm like, it's Adrian Bliss."
Yeah, I was gonna say he gets back on the phone with you and he's like, "No, let's talk business right now."
Right.
That's awesome. So I mean, you had the luxury of like working I think the biggest stint I saw you wrestle at and everything too for me was like LCW days and that too. Like I was a fan, but I was also a worker at that time. But like a lot of good storylines. What was one good storyline that you were a part of that you like really like? You sunk your teeth really into and everything.
Probably CPW in Scranton at the St. Mary Center. When they had partitioned walls that when it was time for wrestling, you could open the partition, and it would seat as many as the host.
Oh, okay.
And that place was almost always standing room only. And I went for a year-long feud with Mr. Saturday Night for the CPW title. And I mean, we brought my family into it. We brought his family into it. It got personal. We even ribbed the boys because he hid under the ring from the time he got the ring set up. He stayed under there, so nobody knew where he was. But the card was already posted in the back. I'm in the locker room getting changed. All of a sudden, the show music starts. lights go out, come back on, and there he is in the middle of the ring with a microphone, and he starts talking about me and my daughter and my wife. And a couple of the boys came out and they're like, "Yo, Roy's in the ring like dogging your family." And I made it so that my face turned red. I was like, "This mother!" And through the curtain, I took off, and the boys chased because they thought I was literally going to beat him up. And by the time I got into the ring and just started to grab him, there was 15 boys in that ring separating.
But that's
They get him
awesome to have that pure reaction too and everything.
They got him to the back. They're like, "Nate, you got to calm down. Maybe we should go this way." I said, "All right, fine." So they took me out the front door and brought me around. And it was a cooler night. They're like, "Cool down. Like, let's go inside. I'm sure Roy can explain whatever." We come in the side door and Roy stand there. I walked over and gave him the biggest hug on the planet. All the boys were like, "What the hell?
Yeah,
This doesn't work?"
You had somebody
You
like
just
grab their
worked
bag,
this?
they're like, "To hell with this. I'm out of here. This is bullshit."
Fuck you,
But
guys.
yeah, like I mean, we had everybody fooled in that year-long story, and
Yeah.
ultimate payoff never happened because CPW went under before I won the belt.
Oh no, those
Yeah.
bastards! Those bastards!
So good.
So
Have
Jason,
you ever
wrestled
wrestled
Rob
Rob
Knox?
Knox? Yes, I have. In an actual match, and then in a run-in. Back when I was teaming with Oxhog and
and Rick.
no, not Rick. Chuck. Zero tolerance.
Zero
When
tolerance.
they were doing
Yeah,
the zero tolerance gimmick.
Chuck Wolf.
I came to the ring with them at CCW, and we did the whole spiel where it looked like all three of us were going to slide in, but I was the only idiot that actually slid in.
Mm.
And then there was Rob and his crew that just beat the snot out of me. for a good
Sounds
5
about right.
minutes.
Sounds about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like looking at that package and stuff like that. You've had singles, you've had tags and stuff like that too. It seemed like you had more of a longer run with as a singles and that too. But what did you have a preference, singles or tag?
Creatively, single.
Okay.
Physically, tag because I only had to do half the work.
You tag Rick. You're like Rick. You're getting in
Oh,
there.
God,
your turn.
Your turn.
Your turn.
Yeah.
You know, Mark Mess comes in the ring, gives me one back chop, and it's like, "Rick, you're in. You're done. I'm done. See ya."
I got to make sure my organs are still in the same spot.
I mean, normally if it's Mark giving you one, it's usually he gives you one, and then somebody hits you with another one to like offset each other. You know.
Yeah, you got to equal it out, right?
But yeah, no, probably singles just because creatively, I feel you can do more creatively at singles. You know, tag you instead of just you and one other person. You're trying to figure out how to fit 4 people involved in this. So
I love doing tag. The only thing I run into is if you have like a tag partner that like maybe not be as reliable or like has issues or stuff like that too, that it's a little harder because not only are you like, hey, instead of being like, hey, I'm here, my opponent's here, we're good. You're like, I'm here, where are the other 3?
right.
Kind of thing. So did you stiff Mark Best with a
Oh boy!
So let's hold on. Let's explain this. So it's not every time, but there have been several times. The first one was an outside CCW show that I came running to the ring, and they're like, "Hey, just be careful. The grass is a little wet." And Mark went to throw a clothesline. I ducked the clothesline and throw the super kick. Well, I went a little too gingerly, so I stopped really short. Instead of taking a big step past Mark, it was a short step past Mark. So by the time the leg extended, Mark bumped.
He kicked the man so hard that Mark Mess took a bump. Oh shit!
And Mark, yes, and I drew blood on Mark. The other time was, once again, I'm used to doing that whole clothesline, duck the clothesline super kick spot. I'm used to guys that take a big step when they throw that clothesline. Mark doesn't. Mark's legs aren't that long. So every time I would duck that super kick or duck the clothesline, turn around, Mark's right there. So he eats the kick every time.
So he sees like on the
good sport
card,
about
like
it.
Mark Mess versus Crass Fantastic. He's like, roll up to the finish.
I'm not doing this.
No, actually, towards the end, it was Nate, you're taking the flaming heart punch. Like, I'm not getting kicked. You're taking the flaming heart punch.
That's but that is fun to watch, not to receive, but it is fun to watch someone else receive it.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, except for when you then have a 2-hour ride home and all you can smell is burnt hair.
Well, yeah, because especially the one time he did it and it was like, oh shit, I can't put this thing out. And he ended up burning a hole in the armpit of his shirt and everything too. And yep, that's awesome. So with doing it in so long and going through and doing and wrestling in so many different promotions, did you ever think for yourself like, hey, I want to be a promoter. I want to run my own thing.
So, yeah, short answer, yes. And we actually talked about it. Me, Mark, and Troy were thinking about opening our own in the Schuylkill Haven area, and it just never went meant to be. Between the work schedule being crazy for all of us, trying to get the three of us together and plan everything, it just never worked out.
So I got to hear about these birthday chops with Rick.
I don't want to talk about it.
That is gotta be.
Does it still hurt? Every now and then my heart
a little bit
differently.
That is like a tradition with wrestlers. We if it's your birthday, just take the day off. Fake being sick because you're gonna get your ass lit up. You're gonna get lit up.
So here's the deal. So we were in Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania, wrestling for Superstar Pro Wrestling, and it just so happened it was Dennis Reaper and Mark Mest versus me and Rick, and I was like, sweet, this is a cake night. Like I have zero work I have to do tonight. We get about 6 minutes into the match, heels are on the heat, and Rick goes, "Hey Mark, it's Nate's birthday."
He's like, nope, I don't celebrate birthdays.
I forgot. I wasn't even born.
Back chop. Happy birthday. So I rolled over to my back, chopped to my chest. Happy birthday. Rolled back over on my stomach, chopped to the back. Happy birthday. Went on for about 4 minutes of me just rolling back and forth, taking chops, and him saying happy birthday after each one. Yeah, until I finally tug out to Rick, and then I refuse to get back in the ring.
Rick goes in, he's like, all right, no, I'm good.
It hurt my hip. Tagging back out.
Yeah. That was always, for me, that was always a fun tag team watching you and Rick wrestling and that too. I enjoyed it and everything too. It always seemed like it was very, like, you guys look like you're having fun.
Oh,
and that's
always.
What, like, the most important thing is when you look like you're having fun and you can see it.
Always. So yeah, that is part of why that tag team came to be. We had both hit a part in our career where things were just kind of stagnant, and we were both like, you know what, let's form this tag team. Let's see where it goes. And actually, we started off as the new franchise until we got a cease and desist letter from Shane Douglas telling us we can't be called the new franchise.
Who happens to wrestle locally anyway too. It's not even like he heard it from somebody else. He's like, bitch, I'm like an hour away from you guys. Like,
right?
Yeah.
So then we changed the name to the Urban Legends, and we had a blast with it. And there were little jokes in there that most people didn't pick up on. Like, we were from Fukuoka, Japan, which isn't a real place, but everybody thought it was. We actually had the Japanese flag in our logo. even though neither of us are Japanese. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the logo because it was like the Japanese with like the bull horns and stuff like that in it too.
so believe it or not, those are tire irons
Really?
that went through it. Yeah, they were tire irons, and that goes back to a Molson story.
That's
Um,
I like that. I like that.
I'm gonna have to look
Wrestling
at
up
the
in-
logo again because I see it and I immediately see a Japanese, and then just, I'm like, what?
Yeah, so we were wrestling in CPW again, and we had heard rumor that Molson and Roy were going to do a run-in during our match, and they had every intentions of trying to physically take us out. And this is back when I still wore that black leather trench coat. So I had 2 tire irons in my trench coat. When we went to the ring, put the coat in the corner. Guy went to try to take it. I said, no, just leave that there for tonight. We need that later on. Molson came out, and when I watched Molson try to punch Rick with everything he had in him, I grabbed the tire irons, I threw one to Rick, I held the other, and I took out Roy's knee, and Rick swung at Molson. Molson's lucky he ducked because Rick was swinging for his head and hit the turnbuckle, and yeah. So we made it a joke that let's just have tire irons behind it because
really tire irons. Okay, now I gotta look at that logo again. That's got me messed up, man. That's gotta be. I thought this whole time those were bull horns. So
right.
Yeah, no. So it was our take on the skull and crossbones, but instead of the crossbones, it's crossing tire iron.
well, tire iron. Okay, all right. That's creative. And then like when people break it down, they're like, oh, actually, there's a story behind it, and it's like, oh, that's cool as shit. That's cool as shit.
So
And actually, so what's funny is Shane Douglas was on that show as well. And so when we then wrestled in LCW and we were doing that whole storyline of Shane Douglas, Rhino, me, and Red Scorpion, and I had to make the save, and I came to the ring with a tire iron, and Shane Douglas saw it and starts laughing and goes, I've seen what you can do with that tire iron many years ago. And he powdered out and left. We get to the back and he's like, you son of a bitch. You popped me in the ring. I was like, you are welcome, sir.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. He's just like, and I tip my hat to you. That is fantastic.
Very well done, kid. Very well done.
And then you see him on TV the next week using a tire iron. And you're like, you son of a bitch. You son of
Jesus desist.
Yeah, send him a letter. He's like,
So has there been anybody in your career while you were wrestling that you would have dreamed to got the opportunity to work with? Like, who would be your dream match person? Or would have been?
So if it was tag team, if it was Rick and I as a tag team, I would have loved to have gotten in the ring with Motley too. Ryan Fox and oh god, Ian. I always thought that would have been very contrasting styles because they're very quick and high flying, and Rick and I were more of the power technical. So I always thought that would have been a great match to go. As far as singles, I would have loved to have had a singles match against Cremator.
Oh, he is fun to work with. He is very fun to work with.
I worked with him in tags, you know, but I never got to work with him one-on-one.
He had me laughing.
I think that could have been a lot of fun. I think Jim and I could have done a lot of good things and had a pretty decent story.
I mean, you could have said me. I'm still wrestling, so like it can still happen.
You don't count. You're gonna bring him out of retirement. It doesn't count. So.
Right? Yes. And
he's not retired.
Emergency break glass.
Tired.
He's gonna be the reason why you break glass. So I get it.
In case of an emergency.
Yeah.
Like
right.
Oh shit.
Well, I'm gonna read a post. It's gonna be like, well, guess who's going to SWO? You gotta be fucking kidding.
You never know.
I'm purposely just going to create that post.
That is hateful. That is hateful. That is very hateful, sir. That is very hateful.
You have to make sure if you like sushi, though, like you got to do it from a place called Sushi Heaven, and then tag Adrian in it, do a live video doing it. He loves sushi. Loves.
I hate you slowly. You understand that?
Listen, I've done this whole podcast. I haven't mentioned sushi until now.
Yeah. I saw a comment about it and I ignored it. And you're bringing it. I hate you slowly. I just want you to know I hate you slowly.
You're the one who had to be selfish and have a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
over you.
I'm over.
So what? So I do have to ask though. So do you watch the like WWE pay-per-views? Do you watch like are you still in touch with like WWE, AEW, like watching stuff?
So yeah, I mean, I still watch all of the product. I'll still watch Monday Night Raw. I still watch NXT. I still watch Dynamite, TNA, SmackDown, Collision. I still try to catch New Japan when I can. I even try, actually one of the photos in the beginning was me and Johnny Knockout.
I knew it was Johnny, but I was like, it's Johnny Knockout.
Yep, Johnny Knockout. So I still keep up with all the product, and I still keep up with some of the boys and girls that are up in WWE, AEW, that I was friends with, back when I was wrestling, and I still try to keep up with some of the boys and girls on the indies. I don't make it to an indie show nearly as much because I don't want that itch to come back.
Because it can happen.
I don't want that itch to come back. I'm enjoying being able to get on the ground and play with my son. Which there for a while I couldn't.
Would you ever do behind the scenes stuff like you talked about before, like like working in Gorilla or doing anything like that? If somebody
absolutely.
was, I want you to agent this match.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be more than happy to show up at a show and strictly backstage.
But could you show up at a show, at an indie show, where you have Kiesel wrestling and he doesn't have an opponent? And I know as a wrestler, you always have your gear with you, just in case some shit goes down.
That's right. Actually, he doesn't know it's in a shadow box, but it's actually bulletproof glass. It's fireproof. It's actually got 14 seals on it. So
yeah, he's gonna be hitting with a sledgehammer.
Even when I was going to True to help out, I never took my gear.
Just in case.
And I did that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if I was going to go help with an indie show, agent a match or whatever, I would not show up with my gear. There is zero chance you are getting the Urban Legend out of retirement.
But somebody would be like, listen, I know you don't have the Rocket Red pants, but like you can do it in your jeans. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, because I don't have any of the knee braces, the ankle braces, the elbow pad. I got none of it.
Yeah. So, now, did you get to like when you were done in that too? Did you get a chance to like go out the way that you kind of wanted to? Like, did you go out on your own terms? Was it, some people were like ended short. We had Louis G. Rich, who just recently got to wrestle his last and final match and everything too. Like, do it on his terms.
So I did. So I had said to my wife I was going to start off doing it with stepping away from long distance travel. And for me, long distance was anything over an hour and a half. Hour and a half and longer, I was done doing, which is when I did that match for Valor. It was me versus Ed House versus Adrian Bliss versus Eddie Valentine. And it was sacrifice. Everybody had to put something on the line, and mine was my career. And I wasn't pinned. I did not submit. I passed out to Eddie Valentine's rear naked choke. Because throughout my career, that was that's who the Urban Legend was. He doesn't know the answer. He doesn't know what the meaning of the word no is. He doesn't know how to give up. But when your body just shuts down, there's not much you can do.
Right.
Okay. I like it.
So then I I was doing like just local stuff, True and stuff like that. And my very last match was a Berwick street fight against Clay Drescher.
Clay.
And
Love
the
Clay.
reason I wanted that to be my last match is because I was his very first match.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
I was his very first match in the business. So I wanted him to be my very last. And unfortunately, by the time we got to that match, I was not moving very well. You know, I was close to needing knee surgery, very close to having back surgery. So I said to him, I was like, let's make it a street fight. I'll be out in the crowd before the show. I literally want you to come out before the show and just beat the crap out of me, and then take off running. Later in the show, after I get cleared by medical, I came to the ring in a pair of jeans, a white t-shirt, taping my hands with white tape, in sneakers. I got in the ring and I challenged him to a Berwick street fight. He came to the ring and we went 15 to 20 minutes and stole, in my opinion, stole the show that night.
Nice.
Ended up with him pitting me in the middle of the ring.
I would say, like, I bet when you, like, knowing Clay, though, too, when you propose this idea to him, I can picture him just bawling his eyes out because he's such a sentimental guy. He is,
Mm-hmm.
So, I could just picture him just be like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
him and I had a couple tears in the back after the match.
Yeah. What a true honor, though.
Yeah.
So I know we're down to last couple of minutes. Got a question for you. We asked everybody this: if you can go back to day one and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give?
Don't do that TNA tryout thing because you're gonna die.
Absolutely. Don't kick Mark in the face.
No, I think I would tell him, have no fear and just go for it. Because I'd like to think I would have made it to the next level had I not had that fear. And I actually just took the risk. I had done a couple of dark matches for WWE. I had worked with Ring of Honor. I had gone back and worked with TNA. But each time, the fear of the unknown held me back a little. And I think if I would have just gone for it full bore at any one of those stops, I may have earned myself a job.
Like, I get you on the unknown in that too. It's one thing if you're doing it, it's just you have to worry about. But then when you throw in, you have a wife, you have children, and that too. Then it's not just like, hey, let me take this gamble. It's like, if I gamble on this and lose, this is going to be awful for all of us. Can we, So but that's good to know. Like, I had that chance.
Push.
So
Don't have the fear and take the leap of faith.
Right.
What's your word to the wise for kids that were, these green guys and that too, or even just people that are doing it and everything too, just 2, 3, 4 years in? What's your advice to them?
Don't kick Mark in the face.
Find a reputable school. Fort Noxious, the Dungeon. People who know what they're doing and know how to train correctly. Keep your ears open, your mouth shut, and enjoy the ride.
We need to make that a shirt, and that too, because
should.
that's what everybody has said. Just keep your mouth shut, listen, and kind of thing. So that's awesome. So
yeah. So we got maybe 50 seconds left. You got anything you want to put out there? Want to promote? Want to tell people what you're doing nowadays? Like, where can they find you?
So I am coaching my son in football. And I'm trying to coach him the way that I just said. I wish I wouldn't have been in pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Have no fear. Take the leap of faith. If this is what you want to do, give it everything you got. So, just trying to coach a bunch of kids and get them to get everything out of football that they want.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Crass, man, thank you so much for for coming on, telling your story, sharing a bunch of laughs because oh, I'm pretty sure you can still feel those chops. I feel
Oh
those
God, yes.
chops.
Well, you know what's messed up is I'm gonna see Mark before any of you two are, and he's gonna hit me just because I was laughing.
Hey, Mark. Kiesel said,
Mark, it's Brian's birthday when you see him.
Yeah, he said you don't hit that hard anyway.
Hate. He just hit that hard. I have an irregular heartbeat because of Mark. Truly, it's been an honor and been fun. So
yes,
absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for this. This was amazing, and I love your show, guys. I absolutely do.
Thank you very much. So, guys, everybody out there watching, we'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. You know how I did that because you had the Batman symbol above his head. It's absolutely, he's Batman. I don't care what anybody says. Just like I had that El Diablo thing picked out. That's Batman. That is Batman.
We had no pictures. We have no idea.
We have no pictures. Yeah, because they got confiscated at the border. But thank you guys, everybody, for watching. Kraz, thank you so much. For myself, for General Kiesel, for Shane. We will catch you guys next week. Again, thank you all so much for watching. You guys have a great night.